All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully everybody can hear me well. And if you can't, on the side there, our moderator is keeping track of the chat and let us know if sound is good and if video is good, if everybody can see the screen in front of you. Okay, looks like nobody is having any issues. Fantastic. We are excited to have you here with us today. My name is Scott Breard, and along with my moderator, Kelly, we hope over the next 30 minutes to share with you some ideas that have worked with us and some marketing efforts that have made our clients very successful at attracting attention of today's investors. I've got a few clients that have joined in here that we're excited about as well. And when I say today's investors, really referring to the ones who are no longer chatting, about their favorite stock at the water cooler with coworkers, or no longer at the bar with, friends sharing stock tips. It's just not happening anymore for today's investors, and things that they're unable to do, which has provided incredible opportunities for attracting investors in different ways. You're aware, we're all in unique times, especially for mining companies and connecting with investors that are out there. PDAC this year, for many of you, if you're taking part, it's virtual. Will it have the success of years prior? Will it get 30,000 people online like they do in person in Toronto? We really don't know. Road shows, big thing of the past for mining companies, lunch and learns. Anyway, things have changed, definitely. Pandemic has also changed the way many of us function our daily lives. Many of you are watching this from the comfort of your home as opposed to your office. Your kids may be there in your home with you as opposed to at school. Your spouse, your significant other could be there in the home working along with you. In my case, my wife here is across the desk from me. I've had the pleasure of both of us working together through this, and our remote team works from home each day for stock marketing. So Kelly will be your moderator today. She's here to answer any questions you can in the chat area on the right. Anything noted by Kelly, she'll bring up to me at the end for a bit of a Q&A that we'll do. Any audio or video issues, we're not too sure what we will run into these days with Rogers and Bell and bandwidth and things that go on here in our household. But anyway, just let Kelly know if you have any issues in the chat on the sidebar. Fortunately, our son is at school today, so we're not going to crash from any bandwidth for video games or online learning. So looks like everybody's here. I guess we can move on. So for the next 30 minutes, and I think I've got this timed at 30 minutes. If I speak quickly, we'll get it down to 20. If I take a long time, we could be here about 45. Hopefully we want to leave about 15 minutes of questions at the end. And through the slides, I've got two kind of key golden tips that I really want to share with you. Attracting investors has changed. We think we've got it down to a science. More than happy to share everything I know with you. We're going to go over a lot of it in the next half hour. Key items that you or your team can integrate into your marketing. We know for our clients, it's provided access to investors. Hopefully stay with us through this entire thing. And hopefully we figure things out as we go here. Anyway, let's get started. So a few reasons why I'm doing this. For those that know me, I bleed entrepreneurship, I bleed marketing. It's my passion, it's what consumes me, my working hours, my daily hours. 1999, I launched my second business, had a fun trademark t-shirt the first time around during university. But in 1999, I opened a retail store, and our success of it, our way of capturing clients was online. We built the first e-commerce website for game rooms in Canada. Small little retail store in Port Credit turned into a 2,100 square foot location in Mississauga. We grew to become Canada's second largest whole house and pool table dealer. We had incredible success, and the entire thing was built on blood, sweat, and tears, and completely on online marketing. So much so that in 2008, I was picked to be the director of marketing for Old House and Billiards after they had a hiccup there in the US in the market. The balance of the world, I was brought in to maintain branding. I did so not only for Old House, but online marketing. I educated over 360 pool table dealers around the world for Olhausen. Made sure their websites were great. Their social media was fantastic. And again, continue selling pool tables for those companies. 2013, I moved on, became the vice president of marketing for Jack Nathan Health. They have the Walmart medical clinics across Canada. Branded, assisted them, 35 clinics to 70 within 2 years. Traveled the country, had a great time. And most importantly, most of the online marketing growth for them was through great things like Google, their website, and social media aspects that I led with them. So a lot of great work with that, which brought me to public companies somehow through a conversation I had in 2016 with Dwayne Parnham. Many of you may or may not know Dwayne, famous for excellent work with UNX in the past. Dwayne was very much a part of Guiani Metals, canoe mining, Broadway Gold. I was brought in 2016 to rebrand Guiani Gold to Guiani Metals. And I pretty much embedded myself completely in the project, so much so that they made me a director in 2016. I learned a lot about the company, was there with them to rebrand and led that. Realized a few years later that when you get into economic assessments and what's happening in Botswana for manganese was out of my wheelhouse. I moved on. But what we learned through that time was how to attract the attention of investors. What scared the heck out of me was the fact that so much money was being written to marketing companies who are chasing you every day. All of you know your doors are being knocked on by these companies. And I can name 100, I think, and so can you. What was happening was they were charging a fortune every month, thousands of dollars, and they were posting your information on their website, their social media, and they were sending you to their email list. And I completely figured out this was ass backwards. You needed to have a great website. We did for Guiani. You need to have a good social media. We did for Guiani. You need to build an email list, which we did for Guiani. Not only did it work for them, but referrals started. I picked up Broadway Gold, Nevada Zinc, Norvista Capital, and I think we got Don Christie, CFO of Nevada and CEO of Norvistas here with us. We just realized that there was such a demand for this out there, but I wanted to take some time. I was not an expert. Public companies, wasn't coming at you with an economics degree. I went to the University of Guelph for hotel and food. I realized that there's such an opportunity to capture investors through these online marketing channels, but any of the services being provided out there, it was expensive and it was not effective. So in 2019, my wife Kelly and I launched stock marketing. And since then, growth has been spectacular. And I think we have down to a science exactly what companies need to do to build a following online. We hit last April, and it was immediately obvious to us that with investors at home, changing the way that they communicate with friends and fellow investors, everything moved online. And for us, it's been fantastic. We have had incredible growth. And most importantly, I want to share with you today exactly what you needed to do and what your team needs to do to get access to these investors. So moving on for us, and we're about 8 minutes in, so I'm way over time. A few of our clients, we're proud to have them all. It's expanding for us each week. It's been incredible CEOs that we've worked with. And to kind of give you an idea of what I'm going to share with you in the next 20 minutes are exactly what we've done for these companies. Nevada Zinc, Don Christie, CFO. We joined you in 2016. We had a look at the Squarespace website that was existing for Nevada Zinc. And over 2016, 8,000 unique visitors went to the website. It was there, no search engine optimization. It wasn't being promoted on social media. We took over the entire project. And in 2017, over 240,000 unique visitors showed up, which was great. Donald contest, we spectacularly took and with the help of a lot of other assistants, the stock from about 7 cents to 70 cents. We're not going to claim that we were the only asset that did it, but I know that we were a big part of promoting marketing and getting a great conversation to potential investors for it. Don Christie, Bruce Durham, they worked hard, and Nevada Zinc's a great company for it. My sort of mentor in all of this, Dwayne Parnham, you'll see Canoe Mining Ventures there. Dwayne in 2016 was the CEO chairman of Guiani, became CEO chairman of Broadway Gold. Dwayne is still with Canoe Mining. Dwayne at the time when we met had 4 LinkedIn connections. And really early in all this, I realized investors are betting on the horse just as much as they're betting on the jockey. So Dwayne, you're the jockey. We need to do something with your exposure. Dwayne today is proudly the owner of 4,400 LinkedIn connections. Anytime anything happens with any of his public companies, he's there posting it to LinkedIn and accessing today's investors, obviously, through that way. So we did really well with Dwayne. And it's part of our executive branding package that we did things really well. And we do for other clients, Longcore, Arnie Condrat, so many across the top here to name, Jonathan Buick with Idaho Champion, Jamie McIntosh at Monterey. Lots of great people, lots of great CEOs. We're having a great time promoting them through executive branding as well. So another company to chat about quickly is a client of ours that our online marketing abilities and what I want to share with you and explain to you through this is Skylight Health. AGM this morning, I believe, wasn't a part of it, but they became a client of ours in October of last year, rebranded the company from CB2 Insights that they went public with on the CSE a few years ago. They moved in November to the TSX Venture. They've applied to NASDAQ from their OTC. We've taken on their social media marketing. Shares in them have gone from 30 cents last October. I think today they're about $1.84. Lots of work has gone into marketing them. We're only a small piece, but we're definitely sure that online marketing has definitely played a role in that with them. So what do I mean by online marketing? Well, your CEOs, your executives, your management of some public companies. And it's really online marketing is the message that you're getting out to people through computers, tablets, or mobile phones. And this could be anything from your website, emails that your company sends, social media platforms that you have, and that hopefully you're taking part in, videos. Third-party companies are hopefully interviewing you. You've got interviews out there that are going to YouTube and onto your website. Podcasts, new great idea. It's unbelievable right now, but more people each week listen to a podcast than attend church, if you can believe it, in the United States. So podcasts, another key way for your public company to get some messaging out through online marketing. Any articles written by third-party companies about your company on your website or on their website. And of course, ads, always opportunities through social media, through Google, or posting content to other sites that can draw traffic. So whenever I refer to online marketing, it's exactly what I mean. How can you promote your public company to those who, in front of their computers all day or on their mobile phone? So why do these numbers matter? Why is this where potential investors are waiting for you to talk about your company? Well, let's just look at the numbers. And we're sitting here today. The average internet user is over 6 hours and 43 minutes. I don't know about you, but I think that's longer than I slept last night. Are spent daily on either their phone, their tablet, or their laptop computer. 6 hours, 43 minutes. It's more than we do pretty much anything else in our day. 88% of these people, in North Americans anyway, 88% are using the internet, have access to it. In all honesty, I don't know how else public companies can access them these days, especially through the pandemic. This is where everybody is. And these are numbers from 2020. This isn't 2019 where pre-pandemic. This is today. This is what's happening. We're in our homes likely listening to this. We're performing this from our home. 88% of North Americans are on the internet. Social media, it's not just for grandparents looking at pictures of kids. It's not just for us sharing photos from the restaurant anymore. Over 2 hours and 15 minutes a day, adults are spending on social media. Facebook, I mean, where else are you going to find 2.2 billion people in the same platform or in the same anything? Facebook with 2.2 billion, Instagram's got 1 billion users, LinkedIn over 500,000 users, and Twitter, although smaller, Twitter itself's over 300 million active users. So social media. What's interesting about social media, all these numbers are larger than any newspaper out there, any publication, print subscribers. It costs a fortune to get into the New York Times, and you get nowhere near the eyeballs that are potential with social media. To put an ad in the New York Times would be incredibly expensive. Yet posting to social media is completely free and has access to all these eyeballs. So what's crazy is if your company's not taking part in this, you're really missing out on a great opportunity. Other things to think about: mobile phones. We know we're glued to it. We spend hours. In fact, we spend over 3 hours a day on our mobile phone. I don't know who spends more time between Kelly and I, but I'm sure we're clocking more than 3 hours on our phone, and our son's definitely clocking more than 3 hours. Investors are too. And what's really important to think about, and it's going to come up with something later, if your website is not mobile friendly, you've just lost 53% of potential investors. Incredibly important. Make sure your website's mobile friendly. You do need to know investors are here, they're using it. Your mobile phone is an incredible way to get access to investors today. So before we get into a lot of the actions that are important for getting access to investors today, especially for mining companies, I mean, you've got so much of a story to tell, but the foundation for the entire story is based on your website. First thing any investor is going to do, no matter how they hear about your company, they're going to Google it. And by the time they get to your website, if there's nothing there to make it exciting for them, they're not investing. So the foundation for all public companies truly is online with your website. It's an example of Galway Metals. I guess we made this probably just earlier this year for that company. Great market cap, great people. Is probably the best example I can choose for what's really important to a website for everybody. Your website is your virtual front door. And every year, more people show up on your website than walk through the front door of your company. Yet you make sure your door looks good, you keep it clean, it's accessible, if you're still in an office or not. But more people land in your website. In fact, hundreds of thousands of people may land in your website. So what's key to websites are you're sort of dealing with a rule of 3, they've always said. You have 3 seconds to capture them and another 30 seconds to get them wherever they're going. And maybe, just maybe, you'll have them for an average of 3 minutes on your website. We know adults, humans, our attention span is so small. So you really only have a few seconds then into a few minutes to really capture their attention. So what's great about Galway, we built it with all the key things you need to see. Clean, clear, crisp logo with it. Company name standing out great. The fact that it's a public company, because you can see their stock symbol right there. Investor presentation, click right there above the fold. When I say above the fold, it's before you move on the front of a homepage on a website. Before you scroll down, this is what's key, and it's what's called above the fold. So there's your opportunity. You can click to download an investor presentation and click to see news releases, which to me is the most important thing, one of the most important things about a website for a public company, especially in mining with so many news releases. Most public companies stick a link to CDR and say, go find them here. And it's so sad for a few reasons. News releases are keywords. Put them in your website, and they're going to help you rank up search engines such as Google. By sticking a link to CDR, first, you lose them from your website. They've headed off to another website where they could go and run into another company. They need to go and stick a password into CDR to actually get access to it, or one of those CAPTCHA codes. Put them right on your news release, the day, right on your website, put the news release there, the day it comes out, and make sure that readers have a chance to find a page on your website and get that information. Also here, we've got a great link to a video that was updated recently, clearance stream for Galway. And across the top, a simple menu. Let's get people where they want to go. Do they want to learn about your project? Great opportunity to share photos there of your mine site. Corporate directories, they want to know who your management is. There you are, right into investors with share structures, financial statements, MD&As, news releases, and then receive alerts. We've got a great opportunity to capture email addresses of those that might want to take part right in joining a newsletter. So key things to websites right there. And you have a chance really to make a first impression with your website. You might as well make it memorable. From here, if you do go to your website, and one of the things we're talking about is being mobile friendly. So when you're done with this, one of the notes I want you to take is that you're going to go to Google and you're going to type in mobile friendly test. If anybody needs a link to it, maybe Kelly will share it on the right-hand side for you, and pop your domain in there. Don't worry, Don Christie, if you're here, Nevada's Inc. is definitely mobile friendly. But for the rest of you, go and have a look. And when you bring up your website, or you run into this chance on Google to go and have this test, it'll show you whether or not your website can be visible from a mobile phone. When we now know from numbers about a slide or two before, 55% of people are using their phone when they're going to their website. But if they get there and they can't see your content, they're having to zoom in, if the buttons are so small they can't press them, you're not mobile friendly. It's like back in the 90s when Blue Collar Comedy Tour had the Jeff Foxworthy skit of, you're a redneck when? Well, investors are not coming to your website when. So if you need to rebuild it, there's a bunch of notes in this slide. Make sure you get a copy afterwards to print off. But if you're going to rebuild the website or you're going to have someone to look at your current website, these are all keys. Things like building it with a WordPress software. 34% of websites in the world are WordPress. Easy for search engine optimization, and almost every web designer out there knows how to use it. Key things like SSL certs, security so high on websites these days. You may land on a website and you can't see it. SSL certs give you a chance to make sure you're protecting your website. Black backgrounds. I'm only 46, but I hate reading websites that have black backgrounds and white text. Anybody wearing glasses or contacts, it's so hard to read. Anyway, lots of information. I'm going to let you go over all of this at a later date, but some key information if you are rebuilding a website, have a look at this and make sure your designer knows what you're looking for your next website for your public company. Down below would be great. One of the things we've been able to do during the pandemic, obviously we've been home for a lot of hours, lots of great clients, we're building quickly. We have visited all 6,000 plus websites of public companies on the venture and on the CSE. So if you're an executive, you're a CEO of any of you, part of any of these companies, we've seen your website. What I'd love to do, reach out to me. You got me 20 minutes anytime. You can book it right online at stockmarketing.ca/Scott. I'd be happy to chat with you about what you need and what you don't need on your website. So I've got a link down below there. Kelly might share it afterwards. And it's a great opportunity to let us, after 22 years of website design, we're here anytime to share some thoughts and ideas with you. So this brings us, golden tip number 1. If you are rebuilding a website, or if you currently have a Squarespace, or if you have a WordPress website, something brand new, came out about a year ago, I learned about it. I tested it out. It wasn't on Nevada Zinc. We tested it on one of the websites. I think it was Terrace Resources that we built last summer. And in fact, you can see it here. So years ago, as a web visitor on any website, if they used a Flash player, you were always asked if you would allow a Flash player to populate on the website so you could see the content. So very much so, web notifications pop up as a little drop down. And you've all seen them. And you've all probably clicked allow because you just assume it's the only way into the website. Web notifications allow visitors to attach themselves to your company. Brand new. This is as important as collecting an email address, having a mailing list of investors, social media followers. This is huge, and it's free, which is incredible. Web notifications added to your website, drop down, and any potential investor can click allow. What did that do? Well, just attach them to your website forever. They can click out and remove themselves. Not so easy. So anytime that you post a news release in the blog section of a WordPress site or into the news section of Squarespace, the user's browser, no matter what website they're on, they could be on Tinder or Facebook or anywhere they are, it'll pop up with your news release in the right-hand top side of their browser saying, and there it is below, Terrace Resource, news release today, click here to learn more. And then they can make their way right back to your website and read today's news release. It's free. It's incredible. And it's out there by companies like OneSignal. Subscribers.com is another company that's put it out. Anyway, let your web designer know if this is not happening right now on your website and thousands of potential investors are going to your website daily, weekly, monthly. It's a chance to capture them all. And anytime you have future information, such as a updated investor presentation you're trying to get out or today's news release, it's an incredible way to get this content out. Anyway, my golden tip number 1, there's a second one coming up later, which is even more important. But anybody take a note, really easy to do, web notifications. If it's not on your website, you're definitely missing a chance to get access to today's investors. So from there, it brings us right into social media. Why is social media so important? It's because it's where everybody is. The numbers don't lie. More than 2 hours a day, people are spending time on these platforms. And it's not just grandma and grandpa looking at pictures of grandkids, and it's, not just chefs posting photos of food. It's people bragging about the stocks they're buying, the stocks they're picking, and it's more information about investing than ever before. We all witnessed what happened last month through Reddit and how stocks were ridiculously moved on exchanges in the US to ridiculous numbers. And it was all done through social media. So where are the investors in all this? Well, Facebook, many of you go, no, I can't apply. Well, 74% of Facebook users are considered high income earners. Instagram, the place where it's all photos, 75% of North American businesses now use Instagram. And it is the fastest growing platform in Canada. And we are blown away, Kelly and I and our team, by how many followers our public companies are generating by using Instagram. Later on, I'm going to go through Instagram itself, and you're just going to be blown away. We posted 25 times for one company. We have 140 organic follows on them already. LinkedIn's my favorite. It's how I found most of you. We put an event on there. 41% of LinkedIn are millionaires. They're not investors, potentially for your mining company. I don't know who are. It's huge. LinkedIn's it. It's the Rolodex of the future. And over the years, just like MySpace went to the pasture, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter may as well. LinkedIn's here forever. It's not going anywhere. And Twitter's the same users that are on Reddit that moved to stocks about a month ago. And 84% of Twitter users, university grads, and they're affluent millennials. So we can't overlook this demographic. We know what they did to stocks last month, and we know that they're investors and they're here for long term. So again, like websites, if you ever want to chat with me about your public company's social media, gladly, you've got my time for 20 minutes. We've reviewed all of yours. I have notes on all of yours. So stockmarketing.ca/Scott, and I'm here anytime. You can hit my schedule there and book me, and let's chat anytime further about it. So I know I've hit 26 minutes, way beyond where I plan to be right now. We're going to hit these pretty quickly. These are all examples of what we've done for our clients, and we know that they're organically, and we're not paying for any of these followers. These are organically growing public companies' eyeballs from investors. So LinkedIn company page, everybody goes to LinkedIn, you have a personal profile. We've researched all of your social media. Over 60% of public companies have never claimed their LinkedIn company page. It's insane. But claim it. Post yourself as an employee working there. Make sure your title is there and key information. Here we've got Idaho Champion Gold, great client of ours, 185 followers. So anytime content is posted to this company page, 185 people are notified immediately in their newsfeed about an investor presentation update, about news releases from today, photographs from the mine site, videos, Idaho Champion Gold, never seen anybody with more drone videos. They're all on their LinkedIn. So down below, you can see page posts right there 4 days ago. There's an article somebody wrote about Idaho Champion, shared to the LinkedIn company page. About us, posts, people, they're all there. And LinkedIn company pages are key if you're going to get access to what we know are 41% of users are millionaires on LinkedIn itself. Besides the company page is your own personal profile. Jonathan Buick, we met fall of 2020, takes care of his own post company information there. He's got 2,200 connections. Anytime anything happens in his company, Idaho Champion, he posts it to LinkedIn. 2,200 could be past coworkers, could be alumni from university, could be anybody. All potential investors connect with him and they learn about what he's doing with his company. So all of you, check your LinkedIn profile. Make sure it's populated with your stock symbols, especially. Get more information out there to your connections. Complete your About Us section. Complete your education. LinkedIn, there is no greater social media platform for public companies and for executives today than LinkedIn. From here, we're going to move our way into everybody's favorite, Facebook. Not just for grandparents looking at photos of grandkids anymore. Company pages, fan pages, that everybody calls them different things. Great way for you to post information, again, just like you did to LinkedIn. And key things, you can link right back to your website from these posts. You can add hashtags so people can, hashtags, Kelly's just nodded, I think, her head over there. Hashtags are good. Hashtags are Twitter. Hashtags. People can search on Facebook by hashtags. Gold stocks, mining stocks. People are inside Facebook every day searching these hashtags. Make sure your company's posting. Make sure you're sharing hashtags as well that are applicable to your information. Twitter, key to the millennial demographic. millennials are bragging all day long. And if you've never searched on Twitter, go type in hashtag, well, there's Nevada Zinc's hashtag that's there. All public companies, and I think it was started by users as opposed to Twitter or by the public companies, investors have been able to search Twitter for public companies by cash tags. So your stock symbol is used. If you're on the CSE, you're likely there listed as .ca. If you're on the venture, you're listed as .v. If you're Toronto.to. And I believe NASDAQ, there is no dot remaining. Is there, Kelly? No. So it's usually just the four symbols there on NASDAQ. Investors are searching through Twitter, finding out who's buying, who's selling, who's doing well, and what new information is out there pertaining to that public company. So second to LinkedIn, Twitter for me is obviously my favorite platform for public companies. And in the history of 86 tweets being posted here for Nevada Zinc, Don, we've got you 820 followers, organic. We didn't buy them. We didn't go out and say, hey, go follow us on. It was organic. They found us and they've clicked to follow. So anytime Nevada Zinc, again, news release, video, anything at all, we've got access to 820 potential investors. So important for Twitter and so important for you as a public company to be using or making sure your team uses. Instagram, biggest shock of all to us, but it's working incredibly well. Golden Valley Mines, Glenn Mullins there, 25 posts since we tested Instagram for them, 142 organic followers. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if 142 new people bought your public company stock today, I'm sure some good volume would move the price. Places like this are completely free, and we're having an incredible impact on what's happening for access to investors through these platforms. So from Instagram, we move into, they were the four big and social platforms you need to really consider yourself looking into today. We know Reddit had incredible effect on companies in the last month or two. Uniquely, it's not as similar as posting for a public company to the platforms. We also know Discord's about to move into an incredible position for public companies, and we're going to be happy to educate and update you about that soon. But my tip number 2, which you can't miss, is posting to Google. Google tried to really get into the social media platform game a few years ago. They came out with Google+. Nobody thought it was cool, so nobody used it. But what they did was they transitioned it into Google My Business. So what I want you to do, whether you're on this webinar or whether you do it after I'm done talking here, go type your public company name into Google. Just throw it right into the search engine and have a look on the right-hand side. Over 70% of public companies have never bothered to claim their knowledge graph. So 2 people are in a restaurant, hopefully again someday, and there they are talking about your public company. One goes home. What is the first thing he's going to do? He's going to type it into Google, find out where your website is. But on the right-hand side, as we did here for Great Cliff Exploration, all the information any investor could ever want pops up on the right-hand side. All you need to do is go and claim your knowledge graph. It means you need to have a Google account, and they're free. It means you get your Gmail email address, and they allow you to go and use all the great tools that are there available by Google. But what company, I don't care if you're a dentist, doctor, accountant, or who you are, wouldn't want to have all of your key information on the right-hand side of that search engine? So there's Great Cliff, awesome company. Jamie McIntosh, I don't know if you're on the call, but you're an incredible CEO and a great guy. But look at that, Great Cliff Exploration. There's a link to their website, live stock price. I think that was screenshotted yesterday for us. Company was founded in 2016. Links to their website, directions if you need to drive there. Key information such as their phone numbers right there. And most importantly, let's go look all the way to the right. Anytime there's a news release or update to an investor presentation, a video, an article, right then and there can be posted right into Google itself. So golden tip number 2, go claim your Google Knowledge Graph, get the information that's possible to put there, and get your team or get using it yourself. It's incredible that people don't know this, but there's no easier way to get access to investors than those who are clicking into Google and searching your company. And then what's great, they're going to click through and make sure that they get their way into your website. So my second golden tip, and what I can't believe 70% of public companies are not using, is a Google Knowledge Graph. So time for you to take a sip of water. I think I've burned your ears off for the last 35 minutes. Kelly's happily ready by the computer to answer any questions you may have. We've been doing this a long time. And during this pandemic, online internet use has skyrocketed. We know that. People are working from home, accessing investors, and we don't know how long this is going. We're in Peel, municipality beside Toronto. Our lockdown itself has been extended to March 9th. We know that downtown Bay Street skyscrapers are quiet. People are at home and people are on the internet. And if you're going to access investors and tell your story, you need to be online. No better way than making sure your website's great. It's the foundation completely to your marketing these days. And then why not take advantage of everything social media offers you? They're easy to use. You could be posting pictures of your cars and your kids right now. What a great way to tell the story of your public company. Anyway, we're here for another 10 minutes. If anybody has questions, Greg's posted about will the presentation be available after. You've entered your email address, I believe, and this is the first time we've used Demio. They will email you a video of this as soon as we're finished. And if you'd like, I will take your email address, and anybody else who wants it, we will gladly send the PDF to you by email as well. And again, I'm here. We are always here to talk to public company CEOs, executives. I don't care if you're IR people and you're competing with me. Reach out. I'll gladly give time. And you can sign up with right into my schedule on our website, right at Stock Marketing.
Just put your information in. I don't think there's any questions, but.
A lot of great cities. I'm just scrolling through. Somebody's with us from Argentina. Fantastic. We know LinkedIn works when people find us from Australia. Sudbury. Had a lot of great stories about Sudbury recently with people. Scotland. This is fantastic. Don Christie's there. Audio is breaking up. Hopefully that got fixed for you. Chris, it was nice to know that we had no audio issues for you. That's great to know. And Greg, I can definitely make sure you get a copy of the PDF. And again, the video will be sent to you as soon as we end this. Thanks, Greg. Everybody, I don't know how many we made it to. I know 200 signed up on LinkedIn for this. They had to make their way from LinkedIn over to Demio to sign up. I don't know how many made their conversion over, but I am grateful for all of you. And I'm here, and Kelly's here, and our team is here. At any time, reach out with questions to anything. We love this. We're passionate about us. You're stuck with us. We'll be in the industry easily for the next 10, 20 years. We really enjoy this. We love what we do every day. And again, blindsided 5 years ago when I joined my first public company that there was so much money being spent on marketing that just wasn't working. Anyway, we got a question there. Reddit is more retail investors versus LinkedIn, more institutional. Just suggest different strategies when marketing to both groups. So I've never had the ability through all of my marketing to target an institutional. It was never part of my platform, I guess, for what I was working on. We did with Gianni, obviously. Companies like Hybrid we worked with, we know they were targeting institutional. I like Elliot, I like Steve, recommended them the other day to a company. Reddit was all in retail, but look at what it pulled off, right? It's incredible. It's not fair to the company and what it went through, but our focus is on the retail home consumer investor, if we're going to call it anything. Ben, it's targeting institutional. I think it's hard to access the portfolio managers, but again, they're all human. They're all on Facebook. They're all on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's great because you can go and chase down, anybody you want to attach yourselves to as portfolio managers on Bay Street. Head off to LinkedIn, go and spend the time through your personal access and go connect with these people. They're going to, in return, possibly follow your company. And that'll obviously build up more access for you to institutional investors. Hopefully that answers your question. Thanks, Andre. Thanks, Francois. I'm glad you guys were a part of this. Thanks, Ben. And again, any of you reach out anytime, email, phone, or head right into Stock Marketing, and we will gladly tee up some time to chat with you. Look at that, just under 40 minutes. I didn't go over too far. Kelly, thanks for moderating. I think that's about it. I think we did cover everything. Is this recorded? Hi, Valentina. It is recorded, so you will get, I believe you'll get an MP4 when we're finished, emailed to you. And if not, just send me an email. We'll make sure it gets to you. It's supposed to go out automatically from the webinar software. And if it doesn't, we will gladly email you the PDF of the slides. Key things that I definitely want you to get to if you're rebuilding or doing anything with your website is a slide on what should be done to make sure it's accessing investors. All right. Well, on behalf of Kelly, myself, and the entire team at Stock Marketing, thanks for joining us. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we look forward to chatting with you again soon.